The champ is here, baby. What it do? What it do, y'all? All right, let's get that out the way. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. And today we doing a live stream just like this, just because I did say in some of my videos that I was gonna continue to do live streams, and really now it's probably one of the best times to really, what I'm saying, dollar cost average into the crypto space, get active into the crypto space. And I really want to be, as transparent as possible. I know a lot of people always say, Tro, man, how do you start off investing in cryptos? And, if you don't got a lot of money, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? They ask, like, what is it to do if you don't have a lot of liquidity in the crypto space? And we're going to talk about that, man. We're going to get into, my portfolio, starting off with $100. I started off with $100. It's been a month since, I started this portfolio. So, it's more than $100 now. But just starting this portfolio with $100, see if I can get, to $1,000, see if I can get to, $10,000. And I think that I'm gonna have this as a running series. I'm gonna show this and continue to, really just show this, man. Show this information, show my portfolio, show just being more transparent with it, and really just showing everyday people it don't really take a lot of money to make money in a crypto space. So we're gonna let a couple more people get in, then I'm gonna go in for the win, show the portfolio, talk a little bit, chit and chat and whatnot. So let's get into it. Just looking at where we currently are in a crypto space, I'm liking everything that I'm currently seeing, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like everything that's going on right now directly within crypto, just because we can see currently the fear and greed index is 64 out of 100, man. So people are absolutely getting more greedy. But the beautiful part about it is that altcoins have yet to take off. We have seen outliers. Yes, outliers do live in the market. But as far as the overall altcoin season, we have yet to see that. Now, some people might say, Tro, we not going to see an altcoin season. We not, this time is different. And I can see where everybody is saying, but in the same sense, when we really just take a look at it, right now it's only institutions that is really moving the markets. We have yet to see retail come back into the markets, and it's a reason for that as well. We know that usually cryptos perform best after we see the money printer turn on. People want the money printer to turn on, man. It's a lot of macro environments that's really playing into effect right now, and really the macro environments, I believe, is what's stopping the crazy altcoin season. Because back in December, after Trump won, everybody, it was a euphoric feeling in the market. Everybody thought we was going straight up, and we did at one point, but the antics started to kick in. We seen in-house fighting. We seen all of these different things going on, the tariffs, all of these things that's transpiring while we're trying to get the greatest bull market started that we have ever seen in our lives. And a lot of people don't realize that, that hinders the macro environment, hinders what goes on, and especially in the smaller a smaller asset class like crypto compared to stocks and real estate, things like that. Crypto is going to take the biggest hit because it is the smallest asset class. But with it being the smallest asset class, it gives us so much more room of opportunity to grow. So that's something we gotta pay attention to, because if we look at Bitcoin, man, Bitcoin is at 109. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is at $109,000, and that's all due to big money pumping the market. Big money is pumping Bitcoin, and a lot of people fail to realize that once big money pumps this, we don't want to be the ones who is left hanging the bag. We don't want to be exit liquidity. In order to stop that, you should be, investing in buying the dips on these altcoins. And I'm not talking about just any altcoins, man. We got to look into, I always say play it safe, in my personal opinion. But you got to know your risk curve. Some people invest in meme coins, some people invest in only the top 25 projects. And I think as far as investing in some of these bigger projects, I do think right now at this moment in time, you can really pick, some of the top projects as far as ranking, and make some gains in the bull market. Because if we just really just look at it, man, we know Bitcoin, of course, ETH is highly, I would say, undervalued in my personal opinion. A lot of people like to, talk bad about ETH and say they don't invest in ETH and all of this, and ETH not going nowhere. ETH gonna get replaced. But we got to understand too, big money is leading this market, man, is leading this charge. And big money wants something that's more secure, more safe, decentralized, and ETH is that, and you can't really debate that, you know what I'm saying? And I do think we're going to see appreciations for ETH. So just going back up to previous all-time highs is almost 100% gains, but I mean, close enough. But if we compare it to any other markets, man, we got to understand that in any other market, 80% gain is great. I know in crypto we spoil with gains. People want to make 100x in every trade, and sometimes the trades you're not gonna make 100x, man, and that's okay. I think now I'm really preaching to the choir, because that's myself included. I would try to make 100x on every trade, and you don't got to do that. All you got to do is make some decent gains yearly. If we look at stock traders or money managers, they're looking to make at least 20%. 20% is a great year for money managers when they manage money. In the crypto space, you could easily have done that just by investing in Bitcoin. But I will say I'm on the risk curve, like as far as I'm not just trying to bet it too safe, but I do want to play it safe at the end of the day, because we all want to protect our money. We don't want to lose our money. And we all just want to live a happy life at the end of the day and make some gains while doing so in the crypto space. And like I said, with some of these projects, top 25 projects, I mean, I feel like if you're investing long term, at least between the cycles, of course, then we're going to see appreciation for a lot of these projects. Now, some of these projects might not survive, and that's a part of investing as well. But for the majority of part, these projects have been around for quite some time. Some projects have kind of snuck up, like Sue, Hyperliquid. But other than that, majority of these projects have been around for quite a while. And I'm not saying just go dump all your money into it. You got to play it safe as far as knowing what to look for. But at the same time, it is what it is, man. You got to kind of just, do what you do. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into the good stuff. Right now, this is the crypto portfolio, man. This is my crypto portfolio. I started this about, let's see when I started. Let's see. So I started this portfolio back, I want to say my first buy all time, let's see, in the crypto was in April. So I bought in April, and this is just me investing $100 a week. You know what I'm saying? This is me investing $100 a week, man. And right now, you can see on the right hand side what my portfolio consists of. Majority of it is in AVAX. I got Bitcoin and ETH right now. And this is just me showing, the regular everyday person. I know this is not my main portfolio. This is just a portfolio I started for people who are not familiar with, decentralized wallets, who don't know how to operate, blockchain technology, who don't know how to buy cryptos on, decentralized exchanges. So I wanted to show, and I know a lot of people are familiar with Robinhood. I could have did it on Coinbase. I could have did it on crypto.com, but I just chose Robinhood because one thing I like about Robinhood, any uninvested cash you earn 4% on. You earn 4.5% on any uninvested cash that's in your investing wallet. So with that being said, if you got liquidity on the sideline, you don't know what to buy, you can earn some yield just by holding it. And this is risky. Keeping your cryptos on any centralized platform is absolutely risky. But I don't think that Robinhood is going anywhere anytime soon. It's listed on the stock exchange. I do think the stock would do good as well. And they continue to empower, small users. And they are backed by the FDIC for $2.5 million, I believe. So, I mean, anything over $2.5 million, if you lose, then it's kind of just up in the air. But if you don't got $2.5 million on here, I mean, what is it to really, honestly lose, especially if you've been investing on Robinhood before? And that was where I first got into stocks. So with that being said, man, why, Tro? Why are you investing in AVAX? So let's just look at some of my AVAX buys, man. We can go right now. My average cost is $22.13. Right now we're at 22.02. And we've been kind of just bouncing around. I like to see the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, we are down 14%. And I know you're like, Tro, then if we down in the past 5 years 14%, why are you buying AVAX? Well, AVAX is doing some crazy things right now, man. So let me share this tab. Over the past couple of months, the daily transactions on the C chain have done a 4x. The daily transactions on the C chain has done a 4x in the past 1 or 2 months. We see more people coming, more active wallets getting using the AVAX blockchain. So many different things that's transpiring for AVAX. It's been talked about. I'm not sure if you're familiar. They just did a partnership with one of the biggest counties in New Jersey to put the deeds of homes onto blockchain technology. And I know a lot of people are like, Tro, that don't mean nothing, man. It actually does, because that is what blockchain technology was created for. A lot of people, I mean, yes, these dApps, and we're creating online economies and generating and transferring money worldwide. And yes, that's a positive thing that comes from blockchain technology as well. But showing ownership with real world assets is one of the main things I believe will be used for blockchain technology. I believe that showing that ownership makes it easier for somebody to, show what they own at the end of the day. Say, for instance, if you had a death in the family and all these different things, they might not have put it in their will or whatever the case may be. Well, with blockchain technology, it's going to help stop a lot of those things. Now, it's not going to cut it out completely, but it's absolutely going to improve the way we live life and the way we show ownership. And that's not to say that AVAX will take over the entire real world asset platform, but just getting 1% of that. The real world assets around the world, I believe, is like in the trillions of dollars. I want to say it's like 30 trillion, somewhere around there. I don't want to just make up numbers, but I'm telling you, it's high up in the trillions of dollars, man. That's all that matters. It don't matter the exact number. You can Google it if you want to, but it's high up there. If we just get 1% of a trillion, just putting it on the AVAX blockchain, I think that will be super bullish. And this New Jersey community that is on the AVAX blockchain, or they're putting their deeds on the AVAX blockchain, is one of the richest communities in the United States. So it's happening. And also DMV also showing car ownerships in California for AVAX. So California DMV is putting blockchain, or using blockchain technology, putting the car titles onto the AVAX blockchain. So bullish on that as well. Then we see the top 5 chains by transaction growth this week, and AVAX is coming in at number 1, coming in 133% higher. So AVAX is absolutely churning numbers, and that's why my portfolio consists mostly of AVAX. Now, for everybody who's there, make sure y'all come in, hit that like button. I appreciate everybody tuning in. This is the live portfolio. Like I said, I started this portfolio with $100 about a week ago. I haven't seen any gains yet now. And like I said, I am a degenerate. You know what I'm saying? In the crypto space, I am absolutely a degenerate, man. And this is not financial advice. This is just showing my journey with you guys. And if you want to take that journey with me, then it is what it is. But we see right now my portfolio is at 629. And like I said earlier, it consists most of AVAX and Bitcoin. I got a little bit of ETH just because some exposure, but it's like, I want to say like $20 worth of ETH. It's $30 worth of ETH. So not too much ETH right now. Let me see. Not too much ETH at the moment. And I really probably just want to accumulate AVAX because like I was showing the chart, I think AVAX has one of the best opportunities to really 6x. You know, back in 2021, we seen AVAX hit $128. I thought it was 134. I think I want to say the all-time high. What is the all-time high? I want to, do they even show you on Robinhood? I don't know. But I want to say the all-time high gotta be, let's see. I thought it was like 134, somewhere around there. I want to say. Now, I probably was 120, 128. Okay, 128. Even with the all-time high being 128, man, I think that it gives us an opportunity to hit, at least a 5x from here. What's a 5x is, let's see. A 5x from here is $110. So what's a 6x is 132. So I do think we can go to at least 132, get a 6x out of this, and probably even go higher. Like I can see a $200 AVAX just because of everything that's occurring. But what I'm aiming for is previous all-time highs. Sometimes you can, you want to shoot for the stars and land on the moon, man. Sometimes that's what you got to do in the crypto space. So shooting for previous all-time highs, that gives us a 6x. If I put $1,000 into AVAX, that'll give me $6,000. And that's just over the course of just investing, dollar cost averaging over the course of long periods of time. And when I say long periods of time in the crypto space, that's like, a couple years, if that, what I'm saying? A year, maybe a couple years, possibly. But it's not a long time. It's not compared to stocks where you got to invest maybe, decades to see some gains in specific specific companies. You gotta, really take some time and really get into the long game of stocks. And crypto is really not necessarily a long game. Yes, it is a long game with Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, but you can make money in between those, cycles. And I do think we will see an altcoin cycle for sure. With a $22 AVAX, $21.99 right now. This is an absolute steal in my personal opinion. Now, a lot of people invest in what they like to invest in. And like I said, the main reason I'm using the Robinhood platform is just for the simple fact to show everyday normal people how you can use this platform and invest over, dollar cost average over long periods of time to make some money. And it probably not be the safest place to invest in crypto. But like I said earlier, Robinhood, I do believe is very much so solvent. They're listed on the stock exchange. I don't think they're going under anytime soon. Anything can happen. But one thing they are backed by the FDIC, $2.5 million. So if you don't got $2.5 million in here, you really don't got to worry about nothing. Yes, it may take some time for you to get your money, but eventually you'll get your money because it's backed by the FDIC. And, things happen, and that's a part of it. But at the same time, I do think that Robinhood is a safe place to really just, buy cryptos for normal people. Now, I do got other portfolios that I keep on decentralized exchanges. But this series that I'm starting, I just kind of want to show the everyday person, people who might not know the lingo, people who might not know blockchain or might not know, decentralized wallets, or how to use MetaMask, how to use all of these other wallets and things like that. I want to show those people, man. So what you guys investing in, let me know how y'all feeling about, what the market is doing. The market, like I said, in my personal opinion, I think we are about to see a crazy bull run, man. I honestly do think that this bull run will be one of the biggest bull runs that we will ever see. Right now, altcoin season is 30 out of 100. And we got to understand, this is with Bitcoin, keep tapping that 110 mark. Bitcoin continues to hit, 110, staying in the 100,000s. And usually, when we see those deals with Bitcoin, we're used to at least like 20% dips or more, things like that. But now Bitcoin is slowly becoming, it's really not even slowly, it happened very fast, in my personal opinion. Bitcoin has become a legit asset class of its own. And I do think that leads to altcoins, because Bitcoin and altcoins play, two totally different roles, in my personal opinion. But we can see right now, man, the yearly high for altcoin season was 87, and that was back in December of 2024. We know that it absolutely took off like crazy. We know that altcoins were performing. We was thinking, hey, we finna go crazy this season, and it did not happen. But that's okay, because we will get an altcoin season once, we actually get into the or fix the macro environment things that's occurring, because we know the tariffs. Trump been playing with the tariffs. We know about Elon and Trump. There is in-house fighting. So it's so many things that's going on in the macro environment that really, I believe, slowed down the bull cycle. I think they really slowed down the bull cycle, because going into December, I mean, it was looking lovely. After December, it was looking, we like, oh yeah, we finna hit the top. No, sir. They stopped it right in the tracks. But that's okay, though, because the money printer will get turned on, and we will see, bro, we gonna see people absolutely get into these altcoins. And I think big money is going to make a move on the altcoins before, the smaller guys do. And that's really why I'm making this too. That's really why I wanted to continue to show my portfolio, because I am, a small investor, but small investors can win if you know what to do. And like I said, with some of these altcoins, that's especially with the altcoins listed on Robinhood, I feel like you generally can't lose. I mean, I wouldn't say that, you can always take a loss, but Robinhood really only lists the majority of the top cryptocurrencies. Like, they got to be at least, in the top 100, I would say. I think all these are at least, close to a billion, almost at a billion, in 100 millions. The cheapest one they got is Mooding. I think that's how you say it, Mooding. It's a meme coin. And just even with this, bro, let's look at the past 3 months, bro. This project is up 400%. So you got projects on Robinhood that, you can absolutely do a couple X's on. That's a 4X. That's almost a 5X right there. And then look at, like, even the peanut with squirrel. It hasn't done anything just yet, but it's down 84% the past year or so. And if we look at it 3 months, it's up 84%. So it's really about getting in on those deals, man. You can really trade on Robinhood and, really get, especially with crypto. We just see, like I said, the past 3 months, literally up 84%, man. So you can get those gains very quickly in the crypto space on Robinhood. Now, I want to see more projects getting listed to Robinhood, but I think they're just trying to play it safe. I think they're don't want any potential rug pulls or anything like that. And that's not to say any of these projects won't eventually rug pull, because, or not even just rug pull, but just go to zero, because, that's a part of crypto. Some shit just go to zero, bro. But even if we look at Wilf, right? We look at Wilf on Robinhood or any chart rather. On the past year is down 63%. In the past 3 months, it's down 120 or up 126%. So just by dollar cost averaging on those dips, and it's always best to really have liquidity on the sideline. Me personally, you don't have to then this is just me talking, but you don't necessarily have to have a lot of liquidity. You don't, man, but you do got a dollar cost average, and you can't really try to force it. Like, some stuff just got to come to you. So, and what I mean by that, what you mean by that, Tro? Well, with AVAX, right? And I've been buying AVAX for quite a while now. I was buying AVAX back when it was like $9 in 2023. Back right here in my other portfolio, I got AVAX and a lot of AVAX tokens and things like that. But I was buying AVAX when it was like $9 right at this moment in time. So just buying over long periods of time, and it didn't stay there for a long time, but I was buying it the whole 2023. So 2023 started off at what, $12. And even if, you just got in at $12, that's still, right at what, 80% gains, I want to say. But if you just was dollar cost averaging over that whole 2023, you could have averaged around, $12 to $15. Even if it was at $15, you still are in profit right at this moment in time. So that's always the benefits of buying or dollar cost averaging over long periods of time. And like I said, also with Robinhood, you get that 4% interest a year. So APY is 4%. So on uninvested cash. So it does have to be uninvested, just sitting in your investing account. But I mean, if you're unsure about the market, you can leave the cash in there and earn, 4%. And a lot of banks not even giving it. You know what I'm saying? Banks are giving less than 1%. So 4% return on your money, just by letting it sit while you're trying to decide on, if you want to get into another project, it's absolutely bullish in my personal opinion. So that's what I've been doing as far as with AVAX. Now with Bitcoin, excuse me, I gotta get some water. I've been talking for a little minute. Now Bitcoin is a slightly little different now. Bitcoin, my average for Bitcoin is 100,000 on this wallet. I started buying. I forgot my first buy, but like it couldn't been like 2 months ago. Really, I started. I want to say beginning of May. I started this portfolio beginning of May. So, right now I only got $216 in Bitcoin. The average cost is 100,000. So I currently am in profit. Bitcoin makes up 34% of my portfolio, and Bitcoin in this wallet is probably going to be one of those longer positions. I would say Bitcoin is going to be one of those positions that we're just going to continue to dollar cost average until it hits $1 million. I probably won't never sell my Bitcoin. I'm gonna sell my altcoins, but once I complete this, I won't even say a challenge, because right now we're just getting to 1,000. And the next phase, we're trying to hit the $10,000 mark. But in order to complete the challenge, I'm going to get, to that $10,000 mark. But I'm gonna, after I get done, I'm probably going to put the Bitcoin in a secure wallet or whatever. But right now we're just buying on Robinhood. Like I said, the average cost 100,000. We at 109. So not too bad. And like I said, I just started this, like a month ago. So not too long have I had this wallet. Now, last but not least, we got ETH. Looking at ETH, man, the reason I bought it's only 4% of the portfolio. Not really too much of a game changer. Even if it go to make 100% gains, that's only $60. But just having some type of exposure, man. Just having some type of exposure to ETH. I probably want to accumulate a little bit more right now. Average is at 26.61. We are 27.42. So I would want to accumulate more before we get back to the all-time highs, because all-time highs 46.27. I do think that's very much so possible, because big money is buying ETH. A lot of people like to discount what Ethereum is doing, and you can't really discount what Ethereum is doing, man. Just for the simple fact that Big money is following Ethereum. If big money buying it, why would you go against it? Especially if you like crypto Twitter, bro. Crypto Twitter, I just, I get on there for laughs and shits and giggles and things like that. But at the end of the day, bro, a lot of people let crypto Twitter control what they do or control what they invest in. When the proof is in the pudding. If big money is buying it, why would you go against what big money is doing compared to somebody who maybe only be a millionaire? They probably be a billionaire, but they are not managing multiple billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, as far as crypto Twitter. These guys are doom and gloom. If one person say something about the market, then everybody just follow, and then everything just going crazy. And don't get me wrong, the macro environment is looking wicked right now. The macro environment is absolutely nuts, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, we know what happens even without, if we didn't have all these things going on, we know what the bull market would have consisted of. And this type of technology cannot be stopped. It can be slowed down by macro environments, but it cannot be stopped. And the things that they're doing, some of these top companies and top projects, what they're doing, they're changing the way we view the world. You know what I'm saying? And just like how the internet made a big change in how we do all these different things and how we interact every day in our lives, blockchain technology will do the same thing. Now, what's hard to really tell is what project is going to be that crazy project that really takes off. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we gotta just be or have some type of exposure to this, because this is a generational change in our lives that's occurring right now. Haven Peck, what it do? Live. Yes, sir. Crow fam. What's up, Crow fam? Any thoughts on Mary when it do a 10x? Let's look at Mary, man. I just talked about my portfolio. But let's take a look at what Mary is doing right now, because I haven't really been looking too much into Mary at this moment in time, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. But right now, okay, we can see Mary down 78% so far. What's the all-time high market cap? All-time high market cap was back. See that, and that's what everybody thought the real bull market was in, bro, in 2024. I ain't gonna lie, everybody was like 2024 really the real bull market. I ain't gonna lie. For real, because 2024, bro, if you think about it, all the altcoins really took off in 2024, bro. For real. Let's take a look. One thing I like about Mary, though, I'm not gonna lie, Mary is always in the top trading as far as volume on Chronos. Now, Chronos does not trade a lot of volume. We can see in the past 24 hours, Chronos only got $3.4 million in 24 hours compared to some blockchains doing billions. But we see Mary right here. It's at $4.2 million market cap. We at a 36 million all-time high. So I do think it's possible for it to hit all-time highs. And if you watch my videos, man, you know that I've been saying that it's going to be multiple billion-dollar meme coins on Chronos. Now, even if we don't hit $1 billion for these meme coins on Chronos, I do think 100 million is also possible for or having multiple $100 million meme coins on Chronos is possible. I do think that's possible. I do like to see that the holder count for Mary has went up. We at 17K right now. So I like to see the holder count went up for sure. 17,000 at a $4.2 million market cap is really a great, ratio in my personal opinion, because that shows that the foundation is being built right now, because it's really just been stagnant, honestly, since we had that takeoff in March, and it went up. I wicked at almost $20 million. So it went from 2 million, wicked at 20 million, and went back down to 4. So we know the possibilities of Mary, man. And Mary has been doing a lot of different things. I haven't been keeping up as far as the news on Mary. So I really can't speak on that. I can, do some research. I might come out with another Mary video soon. I don't know when, but it's gonna be soon. But yeah, I mean, I like what they looking like. You know, the Gold Plus security got no issues. It's always in the top, you know, one or two positions on the Chronos blockchain. So yeah, I mean, I do think Mary has potential to, you know, do a 10x from here. You know, going to a what 42-43 million dollar market cap. Previous all-time high was at what 36. So I mean, that is for sure potential there, but you know, everything's always hindsight. You know, I think a lot of I think Crow and Knife will have potential also. You know, I always make Crow and Knife videos, so I think Crow and Knife does have potential to at least go back up to 100 million. Me personally, bro, I just try to hit previous all-time highs. You know, and I know, you know, everybody is always hopium in the crypto space, but one of the best things about getting in on a project when it's distressed is that all you got to, sometimes these projects go down so fast and so much that you can get in, and you know, the all-time highs from the price that you at is a 10x. So that's one thing I like. That's one thing I like about, you know, distressed projects. Just because the opportunity to hit of you know, the previous all-time high is easier because we seen it go there before, and we seen it go there before. The you know, the environment was set up for a bull market. You know, back in 2024, the first months, you know, the first couple of months of 2024, you really could have made a lot of money. A lot of projects, a lot of meme coins really took off back in the beginning of 2024, back in March of 2024. So we seen projects perform when the environment wasn't looking as good as we thought it should. So in essence, you know, I think aiming for previous all-time highs is a good idea, you know, and it could go past all-time highs, and you might want to keep a moon bag, but just aiming to take profits, some type of profits at previous all-time highs is shit. My fault, but it is what I try to do. I aim for previous all-time highs. Do you have Cog Inu? Yes, sir. Trip, I do own Cog Inu for sure, man. I just actually made a video on COQ, and it's dropping tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's dropping tonight. I made it earlier. But COQ, you know what I'm saying? That's probably one of my other favorite meme coins, I would say, that I've been really buying like crazy in my other portfolio. Just because that COQ is the OG, you know what I'm saying, meme on the AVAX blockchain. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the arena really is going crazy. As far as if you know about the arena on AVAX, it's like a social platform, but they kind of just announced the pump fund section of it. So it's been a lot of projects that's really just been going crazy on AVAX, and I think that volume is starting to come. And I do think that one thing about this too, with COQ being the OG meme coin of the AVAX blockchain, and probably has, you know, some of the top holders. It's not showing the holders for some reason right now. But when I made a video this morning, we had 103,000 holders, man. 103,000 holders at the time of that video I made this morning. And if we go back, like I said, you know, I said I aim for previous, you know, all-time highs. The previous all-time highs around $439 million. And it went from December to March of 2024. That's how long it took to hit, you know, $400 million. And since then, COQ has been doing so many things. And that's why I say with the projects that have utility, those are the main projects that you should look into. Because with COC, it does have utility in a sense where it creates less sell pressure because you can use different dApps to get, you know, or to use your COQ. So one dApp, it's a pretty much like a gambling website, like a slot machine type of dApp. It's been people making money on that, and it's gonna be on I talked about it on my video that I'm dropping tonight, my COQ video that I'm dropping tonight. But it's a dApp that you can, you know, bet and pretty much like a slot machine, and people have been making money on there. And it's also another cogbook where it's a decentralized sports betting platform, and every transaction burns a small amount of COQ. So that's essentially making, you know what I'm saying, COQ more decentralized, and it's also making it, you know, even more scarce, taking more supply out of circulation. So that's something I also look at as well. Now it's taking it small bits at a time, because the project cogbook isn't, you know, as big as, you know, some of the other platforms that's similar to it. But at the same time, those small amounts of COQ is going to absolutely build up over time, especially if it gains more traction. If that DApp gains more traction, we're going to see even bigger amounts of COQ being burned. So that's something that we can look forward to, just taking more cock out of the circulation and really, you know, making it even more scarce. And it's only been around for a year. Now, they say in the quick intel it has suspicious functions or whatnot, but I mean, I don't really look into it. I like that the Go Plus security has no issues. And of course, it's whales in here, but a lot of people have been holding the bag for quite a while. Because you got to think about it. A lot of people bought back in March of 2024. Pulse chain, I haven't even. Let me take a look at Pulse chain, because bro, when I'm locked into something, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not the person who's searching for alpha each and every day. Like, I'm really not a trader, honestly. I was looking at myself more so as an investor over long periods of time. And when I say long periods of time, I'm talking, you know, 1 or 4 years in between the cycles. You know, like I said earlier, if you were watching, I bought AVAX, you know, back in 2023 when it was averaging around, you know, my average is, I want to say, around $12 or $13, somewhere around there. I was buying like crazy from 17 all the way down into $8 or $8.75. So I really just kind of buy over long terms and try to see like what I can squeeze in between, you know, those 4 years. So I'm really not keeping up on too much alpha. I will say we got a Pulse X conference coming up in July for the premier decks on the community putting in work. Let me check it out, man. I haven't looked at Pulse, but let's see. So past 24 hours, $12 million. Okay, that's not that bad. What projects you looking at on Pulse? You said Pulse X. Pulse X. What is Pulse X? Is Pulse X the decks on there? And that Johnny at $3 billion. Don't play with them. See, I really, like I said, I haven't been tapped into a Pulse chain for real like that, honestly. When did it's been out for? Okay, it's been out for what, 2023? So okay, what projects are you looking at on? You know what I'm saying? What projects should I look at? Yeah, it's a Dex. Okay. See, only thing I don't like about, I won't say I don't like, but I usually stay away from investing in Dexes. But not to say that they won't appreciate. But you know, usually when you form the tokens, they give you the tokens back in whatever token that Dex has. And people usually just kind of sell them off a lot of times. But that's not to say this is gonna happen to Pulse X or anything. I'm just saying in general, people, you know, sell off the yield that they get from the Dexes until, you know, some other utility comes out for that token. Now, if you know, if a Dex has starts to have more utility for that specific token, for their Dex token, then I like to, you know, I would like to invest in it then, but I don't know. So, like I said, but back in March of 2024, bro, everything was really taking off. Even if I just like, this is just a random. I never looked at this chart before. No, you just mentioned this chart. Shout out to RH Max. But yeah, you mentioned this chart, and like I said, back in, you know, March, everything took off. This coin went to, you know, $15 billion market cap. It wicked at 15 billion. It went back to 12 million. And then now we at 3.96 plus X, and I'm not, saying that I haven't bought it in this coin. I'm probably check it out. He just said RH, he said earn ink from yield farming on plus X. Plus X has a pretty sweet burning buy. Okay, you got a burning buy. Okay. See, yeah, I think all decentralized exchanges have to have some type of burning buy for sure. Just to keep the price, to maintain a price. But I have to do my research for sure. Hendra, what's up? How you doing, Hendra? COQ, yes, sir. I just got done talking about cock. Like I said, that's one of my favorite meme coins out there, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. How y'all feeling today, though? It's a good, Tuesday afternoon, not even afternoon, it's still morning. I've been up for so long. I just can't try to fast forward time. But a lot of things that's really bullish going on in the crypto space, man. Like even this, like I just saw this on Twitter. 60% of Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects. So a lot of companies are absolutely working on blockchain projects. Yes, I do have an X. Let me go to my page. Crypto Troll, that's my X right there. Troll_crypto. That's where you can find me on X or Twitter. I still like to call it Twitter. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's shit Twitter to me. But 60% of Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects. Kraken Exchange, they say if you're not first, you're last. Don't want to miss the hype. And people understand like what's going on, man. People are really starting to see that public companies are getting into the crypto space. So I'm not understanding why retail is really going against the grain. Retail does not understand that, big money is coming in with large amounts of cash, big liquidity, and they're buying these projects secretly behind the scenes. We know BlackRock has exposure to Bitcoin. We know BlackRock has exposure to Ethereum. We know Fidelity has exposure to these assets. So if we knowing this, why would you go against the grain? And I do think we still get that euphoric feeling after everything is done. But it does have a lot to do with the macro environment. I know a lot of people tired of me bringing up the macro environment, but honestly, I think that's what's really stopping this crazy bull market. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to experience one of the best bull markets of all time, but instead we feeling a little weary. But if you know that they try to shake you out that way, man. They try to shake you out of the market and leave you hanging with or for exit liquidity. But the smart people, the smart retail investors like you and me, we've been buying these dips, and we're going to continue to buy the dips of our favorite projects until we hit that point in the market. Shout out everybody who's still tuned in, man. Like I said, this is my crypto portfolio. If you're just getting in, I want to share the tab again, just because that's what the video is originally about. Just being very transparent in this portfolio, showing everybody that, it doesn't take a lot of money to make money in the crypto space, and you don't always have to find the smallest crypto projects to try to do 100x. Sometimes getting 20% gains is pretty decent, especially depending on where you are in stages in your life. And this is not my main portfolio whatsoever, because if you watch my videos, I got meme coins, I invest in hella altcoins, but this is just my main bag. And right now, my main bag is AVAX, because AVAX is just one of those projects that I believe will be a sleeper blockchain. I think AVAX is a sleeper right now as far as blockchain goes. And just compared to all of the other projects on, Robinhood at this moment in time in the market, AVAX, if we look at the chart, just the past year, we are still down. In the past 5 years, we're down. But the beautiful thing about it, I don't look at price. People look too much at price, but not what's going on in the actual real world. And if you was watching the video earlier, I was talking about how AVAX is doing a lot of things with real world technology on or real world assets on blockchain technology. And I think that's going to play a big factor in who's going to be one of the top gainers and one of the winners in the long run. So even if AVAX doesn't take off, I always look at it as another buying opportunity, especially if it doesn't go back up to, previous all-time highs, because I think even at previous all-time highs, we are still undervalued. And if you're asking why I'm using, hey, appreciate that, Max. I'm gonna follow back once I get on there, bro. Appreciate that. If you ain't following my Twitter, man, make sure you tap in to the Twitter, Crypto Troll. I'm gonna share it one more time just so y'all know. And this is where we can have open conversations. I also got my Discord link in the description as well. So this is where we just have open conversations. More live sessions coming soon as well. I want to continue to keep this portfolio going and keep this portfolio videos going, because it's really just being transparent. A lot of people talk all this stuff in the crypto space, but they really don't be about it, man. A lot of people, make money not investing on cryptos, but just talking about cryptos. But I like to put my money where my mouth is, and I want to show the everyday person that it doesn't take a lot of money to invest in the crypto space to make some money. And all you got to do is invest in small amounts of money over long periods of time, and you should absolutely make some money in somewhere in between there. Now, you got to understand the projects that you're investing in. And I'm not telling you to invest in the projects that I invest in. You always got to do your own research when it comes to crypto. But we have the most opportunity for growth in the crypto space right now, man. That's the crazy part. I still think Bitcoin will hit $1 million in our lifetime. In our lifetime, Bitcoin for sure hits $1 million. But yeah, that's where you can find me on Twitter, Crypto Troll, _crypto, whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, one thing also, like I said earlier about Robinhood, is that 4%. You know what I'm saying? That 4% that they give you on your uninvested cash is, a lot of places are not doing it. Banks don't do it. A lot of other crypto platforms don't do it. I mean, you can find yield on other crypto platforms, but like I said, I think Robinhood is just one of the cleanest platforms to use as far as user interface, in my personal opinion. So that's why I'm using Robinhood to create this portfolio. And I'm also familiar with Robinhood because I didn't make some little money on Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? I didn't got in, a little 13 ball. You know what I'm saying? A little something on Robinhood. And that's just, that's from like way back. You know what I'm saying? So Robinhood has always been a familiar platform with me, and I was always able to cash out and get my liquidity and everything like that. So that's why I chose Robinhood. But essentially, I usually use decentralized wallets. I usually use wallets that I have the keys to and things like that. And probably once this is over, especially with my Bitcoin, I'm probably not going to sell the Bitcoin. More than likely, I'm just going to put the Bitcoin into my decentralized wallet, and with all the rest of my my other Bitcoin or whatever. But I'm going to put that away and store it in somewhere safe, because we say these places are solvent, but sometimes things happen. That's a part of business, and I don't want to get stuck leaving my Bitcoin on there. Maybe anything else, but Bitcoin on there is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because Bitcoin going to $1 million for sure, guys. We got to understand that. Now, not gonna lie to you guys, just a wonderful feeling in the crypto space. Blessed to see all the things that's really transpiring in crypto. I don't think a lot of people really get what's going on, how a lot of money is flooding into crypto. Check out Pulse Chains, coins. How do you say Robinhood stole from you twice? How they steal from you? What they do? I never had a problem with Robinhood, Haven. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't transfer cryptos off of Robinhood and everything, and I never really had a problem with it. But let's check out some Pulse Chain, because I ain't never look at Pulse Chain, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's check out some push chain, tokens, bro. What's some of the oldest tokens on? I be liking to look at what's been around. I know Hex been around for, people always talk bad about Hex, but I never really did my research on it. Like I said, I kind of be in tuned into what I'm in tune to. I know, okay, back in 2023, what it went to $25 billion. It wicked at 25 billion. That was a crazy week right there. And it kind of just been, and I know a lot of people who were what they call them hexicans. 1,000 holder of crow in the world. Hey, yeah, Haven, 4,000. That's cold, bro. Shout out to you. We have a ton of people, DeFi people as the bear. Okay, DeFi. Hex. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I always heard people talk about Hex. I never really got into Hex. I know then some stuff happened with the Richard dude. I forgot his name. The dude who made Hex. I remember like stuff coming out about him, a couple years ago or whatnot, but I ain't really been hearing about it lately. You know what I'm saying? But I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't really speak on it because I never got into, the push chain, blockchain itself. But I mean, it is pumping though. I ain't gonna lie. Look into the founder, bro. I didn't heard, like I said, I heard about the founder. I know he like real loud, really, yeah, Richard. That's what I'm talking about. Rich, yeah, Richard for sure. And on me, that's why I said, I mean, they stop trading. When they stop trading Doge and Bitcoin, they still got Doge and Bitcoin in there, bro. You flooding us though, because people be flooding us though, because we DeFi for real. What makes Hex DeFi for real? Richard Hart. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Richard Hart. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, him. So he did win the case with the SEC because I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I really haven't, like I said, when I get into an investment, I kind of just trade the same thing. Like I just trade the same coins, especially when it's trading pretty decent. And I know I miss out on a lot of gains that way, but I think that just helps me, keep a sound mind, I would say. What they FUD about? What's the most FUD? You know what I'm saying? What's the something they always bring up? Because like I said, I haven't done my research on Hex, on Pulse Chain. You know what I'm saying? I really haven't done my research, but I mean, with 12, I didn't been on blockchains with less than $12 million in volume. So, $12 million in volume, pretty decent, I would say, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I didn't heard about the hexicans, man. I didn't heard about the hexicans. He's in Century, but he is one of those I went to college and hang out with the bros, dude. Yeah, I used to be seeing him in Gucci and all that. And you know what I'm saying? He used to be fresh as hell on crypto Twitter for sure. Push, I got the most legal clarity technically out of all these projects out here. Well, I gotta do my research on that. Because I ain't gonna lie, crypto.com got a lot of legal clarity as well, as far as I would say now. You know what I'm saying? It's a real DeFi across the board. You can't onboard on a 6. Damn, so if you can't onboard onto a 6, how do you take the money out? What you gotta do a cross chain through like Bitcoin or something? He said it's real DeFi for real. You can't onboard to a 6. Dang, what you on board to then? How you turn it to fiat? Man, that's crazy. Free fee money, bro. They can't still be in counterparty risk. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, man, I don't know. DeFi. I mean, yeah, stables, I'm saying, but how do you off board? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you I feel like I like when projects can on board onto from a 6. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I sell my crypto. I sell them through centralized exchange for sure. Like, could swap the ETH. I mean, yeah, and I get that, but I feel like in the future, the easiest the person or the blockchain that has the easiest way to onboard people is going to be the blockchain that You know, it is gonna be multiple blockchains. I'm not saying it's gonna be one big all blockchain. And I know centralized exchanges do offer risk to your bags for sure. Extra centralized exchanges are risk to bags, but I'm not saying keep your cryptos on a centralized exchange. I'm saying offboard it into a bank account. That's what I'm saying. Not saying that, you know, storing your cryptos for sure. That is for sure risky to store cryptos on a centralized exchange. But sometimes at some point you want to convert that to fiat. I mean, I would say, well, unless we get to the point where we can start using stable coins in real life, then that's different. You know, once that happens, then you don't necessarily gotta can. I mean, yeah, we got you right. We got off ramps. Yeah, we got off ramps. Barachain. Who is Barachain? What's Barachain? Yeah, but you are right. We do got off ramps. We do got off ramps for sure, for sure. But I do think too, though, that at the end of the day, in order to get everyday people are going to naturally do, you know, centralized exchanges. Even the big money now are working through centralized exchanges and in a sort of way, you know. So I think that for majority of the part, the centralized exchanges that are currently out and doing numbers right now, I think they'll be pretty solvent. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Not to say that it can't happen for sure, for sure. It can happen. But let me look that up. Internet money wallet. Internet money wallet. So what you let's see, what you on board from? I mean, what your value retail across over value retail access of the real type of money inside crypto that wants to grow their yield. Yeah, I mean, cause I mean, you gotta think about it, bro. Like everybody not gonna go the same lengths that we go to earn yield. Like everybody not gonna participate in actual DeFi protocols. Not right now. Now I do think in the future it's gonna be streamlined to where people not even, you know what I'm saying? Damn. People not even knowing they're using blockchain technology. I do think it will be streamlined to a point like that at some point in time in the crypto space. But right now, I don't think that, you know, the everyday person is going to create a decentralized wallet or anything like that. You know, I think that's where I was getting it. But not to say that we can't earn, you know, yeah, like we can be ahead of the game for sure. You know, we can be ahead of the game. Yeah, I gotta check out the internet money app for sure. I gotta check that out. I gotta do my research. Is that a project? Is that a project on okay, is that the time dividend? I mean, is that a part of, because when I looked at it, when I looked on the tokens, it say time dividend, internet money. Is that a time dividend and then future? See, yeah, I gotta do my research on that. I gotta read the white paper. For sure. I think you're right. AVAX would do well. It's made that higher low on the higher time frames. The big games are on there, Gunzilla games and facts. That's what I'm saying, Pi. Facts. Those are facts. The games are growing on AVAX. You know what I'm saying? Games are absolutely growing on AVAX. I shared this before. The top 5 chains by transaction growth. AVAX up 133%. If we look at, you know, the unique active addresses spiking over the course of 1 or 2 months. Transactions have done a 4x for AVAX as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a I don't know. This is when I look at projects, bro, I like to just buy over time. Like I feel like when people be too diverse, that's when you lose. When you got 100 altcoins in your portfolio, yes, one might do a 10x, but at that same time, if you would have just focus on a project that you saw that was building that's actually getting, that you can see people using in real day, everyday life, then you kind of got to focus on those projects. And yes, you're gonna get left behind. People gonna say, oh, he fumbled the bag, he didn't make enough money. But everybody's story is different. Everybody has a different goal and what they're trying to achieve. And if you got a goal, stick to your goal. And I think a lot of people miss out on their opportunities or goals because instead of running their own race, they look inside the side. When you run a race, you gotta stay focused on your own race. And if you lose, you lose. And if you win, you win. But at the end of the day, you stay focused on your race, man. Why it's good. That's why it's good to speculate, earn to gain more opportunities for Bitcoin too. Yeah. Max said I wouldn't be surprised if we have a ton more people come to push chain, keep building fiat on ramps and centralized exchange listings. That's possible. They have a coin too. All push chain is a cheaper Ethereum with better tokenomics and proper scaling measures. Shout out to the Hexicans, man. Y'all came in the chat turn. I never even thought about push chain for real. Like honestly, I seen it, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, when I get on something, I'm just super focused on it. Being diverse saves your portfolio most of the time. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say that, but if you really focused on a project, then the trends and how it trades. And yes, things do things do change as far as what's going on, but if a project continues to build, then I mean, you're really not taking a loss if you bought the dips. And what I mean by that, like if we look at, like let's just say for instance this project, I don't know, I'm just taking any project by any project, right? So say for instance, if you would have bought this deal back in January, and as hindsight is always 2020, right? But back in January 2024, this project went from 1.7 million to 11 million, so almost a 10x right there, or that is almost a 10x, close enough to it, right? So if you would have bought that at 1.5, didn't sell at 11, but just continue to dollar cost average along these lines and had an average of about 1 to 2 million around that time, and you sold at 8, you just made profit. You know what I'm saying? And if you will only know that if you're really doing your research with those projects or really studying the charts of those projects. Now, it does have to be a longer chart. Don't get me wrong. It does have to be projects that have been around for quite a time. And you do miss out on gains on some of these, lower market cap projects. But the gains that you miss out, it could be life changing. It could, in hindsight, always 2020. It's hard to say. Yes, I am keeping it simple, holding cash. So yeah, that's a cool portfolio. Facts. I feel like that's a winner portfolio. Same name on my X account. I'm gonna follow you back, bro. I'm gonna follow you back. If y'all ain't following me on X, make sure you follow the kid. Make sure you follow the kid. Crypto Troll. If you're not following me on X right now, lots of people are looking for 100Xs this season on put. And that's what I'm saying. 100Xs are very much so possible. I'm just not looking to do 100X, honestly. Use XRP as an example. Okay, I mean, we can use XRP. Let's see. We can use XRP as an example as well. Because I think, it's always good to. That motherfucker did not go to XRP. Well, let me see. So we use XRP for example. Now XRP is one of those projects. It just depends on where you got in, honestly. Because I mean, even if you got in back in 2024 at these prices, it was 0.005 for what? Literally 4 years. So dollar cost averaging, I mean, you would never made no money. I mean, you would made some money because it went to 1 cent in 2015. But even just dollar cost averaging over that long period of time, you would have to wait until 2018 for it to actually take off and do something crazy. But even in between that time, if you buy 0.005 going to 1 cent within a year and you sold and you just waited to dollar cost average back in and you looked at the chart, then you still, you know, your portfolio wouldn't have been messed up. I would say, so your portfolio, you still would have been in profit if you took profits. Now, that's the hardest thing to do. Then that's why I say everybody looking for 100x or you trying to be too diverse. But if you look into a project that, even if we go into the most recent times, right? Even if you would have bought the 2018, high of $3.36, which is crazy. That it took so long for it to even get close back up to it. But even if you would have bought all the way then, if you had that, it's a reason why you bought XRP. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why, you bought it. And if that reason hasn't changed, you continue to dollar cost average. And if you would a dollar cost average, it was distressed for how long? From 2018, it was at 34 cents, all the way up into 2021. It was still under 34 cents. So if you dollar cost average from 2018 to 2021 at under even 50 cents, under 50 cents, you know what I'm saying? You still back by the May of 2021, you at $1. You know what I'm saying? It's all about dollar cost averaging. And that's why, when I say being too diverse can mess you up, because you start to chase waterfalls. You said newer projects have better gains. Best time to have gotten a Bitcoin was mining for free. I mean, yeah, but to say that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's too dear. It's mindsets to it. You know what I'm saying? And I get your mindset for sure. Like, I understand, and I do the same thing. I invest in smaller meme coins. I invest in smaller altcoins. I invest in things that have market caps of 1 million, 500,000. Yes, I got a degenerate side to the crypto, but I think as just an overall investor, in order to have some type of safe mindset, or a mindset of a normal person, because in crypto we are not normal. We different. Like, we are degenerates. I know myself. I am a degenerate gambler. I pray about it. I think about it all the time, but I know that I do things that is very degenerate, but at the same time, it's just being an investor over, a couple years, not just crypto, but stocks as well. I started to learn that you don't always got to get the biggest gains, bro, because if we compare it to, people, big money managers, they're looking to earn 20% gains a year. And I know in crypto, we looking to earn 100x. We know that, but it's okay to take that 100% gain. It's okay to take that 200, 300, 400% gains. It's okay to take that 10x. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to do 100x every time. He said people chase 100x gains, but people should understand that making a 10x and then another. Exactly. All you got to do is really make 2 10x's. That's it. And 2 10x's, I would say, is pretty, I won't say easy, but it is easy in the crypto space if you know what you're looking for. But it's a simple, immutable code is great, but it's a simple de-risk factor. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This more for the people who not as risky as others. You know what I'm saying? Like with Bitcoin, we know Bitcoin in our lifetime. Well, especially if you're younger, if you're younger, I do think not even if you on the older tip, even if you 40, 50, 60, you got at least 20 years. I think in the next 20 years, we do see Bitcoin going to $1 million for sure. If you do a live stream, dig into the Pulse chain assets, let me know. All right, I will let you know for sure, man. I really I seen, like I said, I seen what I was doing on deck screen and everything. So I mean, Pulse chain, it's not, it's a lot of volume that's being transacted as far as for a smaller blockchain. So it's what, $12.5 million. That's pretty decent. I'm an XRP investor. I'm still holding fast. Once regulation clears, XRP will shock the market. I thought regulation already cleared for it pretty much, with the SEC dropping the case and everything. That's kind of why it took off recently. I assume, that's what I assume. But yeah, man, I think a lot of things are going to have its day in the sun. I think that, we do have a euphoric feeling in the crypto space. Altcoins will take off very soon. We look at the market cap for the entire crypto space. We haven't even hit the previous all-time highs again. If we look at just all time, we went up to a $3.7 trillion market cap back in December of last year, and right now we're at 3.42. So for people to say that we won't see an altcoin season or something like that, I think it's crazy. I think they just kind of once one person says it who's kind of big on Twitter, then everybody's gonna run with it and follow everybody and all this good stuff. Skywalker, good morning, man. It's afternoon where I'm at, but good morning to you. Shout out to everybody who's still tuning in. If you ain't following me, make sure you hit that like button. That's like follow me, hit that like button, hit the notification and everything like that. Extra, you said that's like earning 100K. Saying earning is enough, but don't strive for 1 million. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, you're supposed to strive for the stars for sure. But landing on the moon is not bad. You know what I'm saying? Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I said that earlier. You got to shoot for the stars and land on the moon. It's not bad, man. Because 100K is really life-changing for a lot of people. Do I have X? If you're not following me on X, this is my X account. Crypto Tro _ crypto. Make sure you follow me. I appreciate that for sure. But yeah, sometimes you gotta, shoot for the stars, aim on or land on the moon. That's how I look at it. And yeah, we shoot for 100X's and things like that. We do want to make life-changing money, but at the same time, we do want to preserve as much money as we can as well. We want to let our money work for us, but we don't want to go to zero. Because if you've been in the crypto space for quite a while, if you've been in the crypto space for a little minute, then you didn't have a project that went to zero before, unless you've been investing in only, some of the top projects. But even some of the top projects, go to zero. Oh, then yes, sir. Finally, another black man in the crypto verse. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been in here for quite a little. I ain't gonna say quite a while. Since I had this channel since 2021. I'm gonna go live more frequently. I'm just trying to build a little schedule. But yeah, I just be going live randomly right now. You take that 100K, you wait patiently for the next dip, and on facts, or it's different, save your asset in the top 50 and make another 10X, and you got 1 million. Exactly. It don't take a lot, bro. And that's why I be saying, like, if you diverse into some of the top projects, you still can make a 10X, especially if you buying it on the dip. That's the main thing. A lot of people buy at the tops and then complain. Like, you can't buy the all-time highs. You just gotta wait the next cycle. And don't get me wrong, I did it myself. I bought a lot of projects all-time highs, and I had to wait. I bought them all-time highs at 2021. And I literally had to wait until the next cycle. I won't say I bought them all-time highs. Some projects I did buy all-time highs. I did make profit the last cycle, I will say for sure. But I didn't take enough money off the table because I was aiming too high. I saw money that I never seen before ever in my life, and I didn't take it off the market because I was being, trying to be a millionaire in one go round. Like, I already had 6 figures, but I'm trying to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say, like, I'm just speaking based on the experience. And if you can take this and use this experience, then it is what it is. If you don't relate, then you just simply don't relate. But I'm just saying, from based off of my my experience, if you buy, or if you see money that you never seen before in the crypto space, then take that money off the table. Take it off the table. And that's what I'm not even talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. Like, there's some shit I tell myself. Take that money off the table, man. People are quick to say bear market, which is why they're scared to buy the dip. And that's what I'm saying. People are always talking about bear markets. We are not in a bear market, man. We are not. Look at the fear and greed index, man. 64 out of 100 right now. And we're not even in an altcoin season. We're gonna get an altcoin season. The fear and greed index is gonna be in the 80s, possibly 90s. But I don't think that happens until they start actually printing money. I think the print of the money has to occur in the United States. I think that, once liquidity gets into the market, people are going to use that liquidity to buy cryptocurrencies and stocks, equities, all that good stuff. I do think that's going to happen. When it's going to happen? When all this macro stuff get over, once we get off these tariffs, once, Elon and Trump stop beefing, once all this stuff get out the way, man, then we're going to see the crypto space take off. When it's going to get out the way, who knows? Who knows when the interest rates are going to go down? But who cares if your project that you're investing in is still building? Now, if they ain't building, then we got something to look forward to. Tam, what's up? What it do, Tam? How you doing? But now, if your project is not investing or it's not building, then you probably should be scared. You know what I'm saying? You probably should be frightened by not having a quick bull market, because it's possible that project can go to zero. But if your project is still building like crazy, man, and nothing has changed, no bad publicity, even some bad publicity, can help projects, but nothing has changed with the overall foundation of their project, then you continue to dollar cost average when the project is down. Simple as that. And that's just keeping it simple, man. Sometimes people make it harder than what it is, but I know a lot of people are looking for something $1 million, but I never seen $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Take that 10,000, $10 hex. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I think the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at hex, bro. We got a lot of hexagons in here, huh? Let's take a look at hex. I never really just thought to buy hex, honestly. Which one is the right one, y'all? Is it hex pulse chain? Is it hex? Like, which one? I'm just gonna go with the push chain because that one got the bigger market cap. So does it not show on coin market cap? What brought you into crypto? What brought me into crypto? So I don't know if I think I told this story I don't know. I didn't never tell the story to you. So what brought me into crypto? So let me full screen this one, y'all. We're gonna full screen that one. So what brought me into crypto? So originally, I was in this multi-level marketing MLM, you know what I'm saying, money scheme. If y'all know about MLMs, y'all know, right? It's like you sign people up, you get money from signing people up, you selling a product, but honestly, you get more money from signing people up, and that's what they want you to do, bring people into the company or whatever. So boom, doing that in college, trying to make some money. Really didn't like how it felt as far as being pushy and all that. I feel like I'm a salesman, but I don't like to be a pushy salesman. And that's what they was kind of teaching. But I wanted to learn how to trade Forex. It was a Forex trading MLM. And what we did is we got people to sign up, but how you pay, it wasn't through like through cash or card or anything like that. It was through Bitcoin. So how we set people up, we get them a cash out wallet, we do all this, and they pay the program and buy a package through your link, and they doing it through Bitcoin. They send it to a Bitcoin wallet. So as I'm doing this, I'm signing people up, and I was doing this over the course of a couple of months or whatnot, and I started to realize, like, as I'm doing this, Bitcoin is going up. Like, Bitcoin is literally going up. I'm not even looking at the price of Bitcoin. I'm just looking at Bitcoin, because that's what people needed to sign up. And as Bitcoin is going up, the price for the package was like $199 or some shit like that. It was like, $200, $235, something like that. But as I'm going up, the denominations in Bitcoin is getting lower. So what I mean by that, like it was like at first like 0.001 was 235. Then it started, it's just started. I'm like, okay, hold on. Bitcoin is really gaining traction right now. Like I need to start buying this. You know what I'm saying? This was back in 2020, I want to say 2019, somewhere around there. But I already heard about Bitcoin in 2017. But you always late to the party. I was in college back then. I'm just now living my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm alone. It's women around and all that good stuff. So I'm not focused on cryptos or trying to. I'm focused on trying to better my life in college because I graduated college, but I'm not focused on really just buying assets at that time in the market or at that time in my life, rather. I was really focused on more so on stocks rather than anything. And if you saw my Robinhood portfolio, you saw that I made money in stocks before when I showed it, but was focused on that. Then after I started signing people, saw Bitcoin going up, saw like I need to buy this. But by this time, this one Bitcoin was 5 figures. So I'm like, damn, I can't even afford one Bitcoin. So I know it's something else out there. So that's when I started getting to altcoins, started exploring, started watching YouTube videos, learning how to create like DeFi wallets, learning how to get into liquidity pools, farm and things like that. And this was all around 2021. So I first bought it in 2020. My first projects, of course, Bitcoin. I had a project called Funfair. I had XRP, Cardano, H-Bar. I didn't invest in a lot of these projects. Now, I have minimized a lot of these projects. I did hold some of them, but I invested in a lot of things just trying to understand what crypto is. So that's essentially how I originally got into crypto from MLM using, they was using Bitcoin to pay for the subscription. I saw the subscription I saw Bitcoin going up over time. And that made me say, hey, why am I not exposed to this asset? Let me stop doing this, trying to sell these products, trying to sell Forex trading, and let me just buy Bitcoin. Looking like ZBEC is dropping to a great buy point. I ain't checked ZBEC out. I gotta check that out. Hope all y'all get rich. Crypto is the move. Don't sleep on it. Facts. Crypto is for sure the move, man. Crypto is for sure the move. I feel like that no other opportunity in this world gives us the chance that crypto gives us, especially for everyday people, especially for investing and trying to make some quick gains. When I say quick gains, it might be over the course of 4 years, but that's quick compared to stock market gains. It is some stocks that take off fast, but for majority of the part, the stock market has aged. It's not as big as gains as cryptos. Now it is, I would say, more stable. So you won't see as big as drops in the crypto or stock market space, but you don't have the opportunity for exponential growth as much in the stock market as well. So that's what I would say. But how y'all doing? UFO are the best profits in BTC. You talking about like the Bitcoin blockchain? I ain't checked out. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I haven't checked out the actual anything that's getting created on the actual Bitcoin blockchain at this moment in time. Like I said, when I focus on something, man, when I focus on the asset that I like, I kind of just focus on the asset. I might diverse into some other of the other assets that are let me see, what's the word I'm looking for, that I'm more familiar with. But trying to do research, I gotta, I work too, what I'm saying? I work a different job other than this, so I'm not on this every day. And if you're in the trenches every day, you can make some money. I'm not gonna lie. If you really in them trenches, especially like on blockchains like Solana, the blockchains that's pumping volume, billions of dollars, you can make some money. You gotta know what you're looking for. But if you do it enough over time, I know some people who really in the trenches on a blockchain making some money. But that's not, I kind of just like to buy, coast, and not even think about it, because I think if investing in pretty much of anything right now, I won't say anything because there's some stuff that's gonna go to zero, but investing in majority of these projects, I do think that we will see appreciation, especially if their project is continuously building out on their foundation. If they actually doing something in real world, or actually bringing some type of utility that and dApps that people want to use, then it's undeniable. You know, you can't stop that. But man, it's been a good time, man. I've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna keep these coming because this was interactive. Like I said, this is just the first episode of the series, my crypto portfolio. Right now, I'm gonna share the tab one more time. We're just gonna go over it one more time. But right now, I am right at 625. My goal is to hit, $1,000 at least by the end of July. So I do think I can hit my goal of $1,000 by the end of July. I do think that we got a lot of more appreciation here in the crypto space, especially for some of these altcoins that have been building. And with Robinhood, I know that's not the perfect place to, have your cryptos or anything. But like I said, I'm doing it for the everyday person, somebody who isn't familiar with all the ins and outs of crypto, where they are familiar with Robinhood and they can just, go on Robinhood to buy some of these altcoins. And with Robinhood, I would say do it with the coins that's really posted on there right now. I won't say you can't lose with them, but right now at this moment in time, a lot of these coins are still down as far as from their all-time highs. So I do think that we see a new all-time high level or possibly go back up to previous all-time highs, but only time will tell, man. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, Crypto Troll, I've been doing this for a minute now, for about 4 years now, and we're going to continue to keep this pumping. I'm going to continue to have the portfolio videos going because I see a lot of people engaged with it, a lot of people just asking questions, and this is a open space, a safe place. We just talk, come and kick shit, and nothing too major, bro. I'm not any trying to be too investy or too I'm a laid back guy that's loving to see and be a part of this generational transformation. Dope story. What about crypto.com? What brought you there? Crypto.com. What brought me to crypto.com? I would say, really, I just seen crypto.com was probably one of the first platforms that I ever bought crypto on. and I seen a commercial, or when I was looking up cryptos, I seen an ad for crypto.com. And when I seen that ad, I was like, okay, I gotta go there to buy cryptos. It's literally in the name, crypto.com. They gotta be one of the biggest people in the crypto space. And when I had that mindset, that made me think about other people thinking the same way I do. So if you're on, crypto Twitter, or not even crypto Twitter, if you're on crypto YouTube and you're searching a crypto video, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a crypto.com ad. I'm pretty sure you didn't see a crypto.com ad on your YouTube. So when I seen that, I was like, it's other people thinking like me. You know what I'm saying? It's other people who say, this crypto.com. If I want to buy some cryptos, I got to go to crypto.com to buy it. It's literally in the name. You know what I'm saying? And then they started doing all of these different partnerships. I'm like, okay, they partner with getting marketing deals with sports teams and things like that. And that doesn't really correlate into Crow, right? I know you're like, what does that have to do with you buying Crow? Well, that just incentivizes people to actually use the crypto.com platform, or that just makes people want to use it when they send it at all these sports platforms or on these sports teams. That makes them want to go to crypto.com to buy their cryptos. Well, directly within the app, the utility for Crow comes in where all these different things with the debit card, they just dropped the credit card, the airdrop arena where you can stake your Crow to get different airdrops and receive rewards. All those different things gave Crow utility directly within the app. Now, we also have the Chronos blockchain. It's not really pumping a lot of volume, so I really don't just count it. I mean, I'm not counting the Chronos blockchain out, but at the same time, I think majority of the price movements for Crow is going to come from people buying it directly within the app and using the utility that the app has. So that's what really made me get into crypto.com, because I seen that they were doing all these different things that's locking up Crow directly within the app that creates less sell pressure. They were once upon a time, like when I was heavy first getting heavy into crypto. There was around a time where crypto.com was the number one app on the App Store as well. So I'm just saying all these things, and I'm just kind of putting two and two together. I know the name is is eventually going to be a household name for the crypto people who are actually buying crypto, because it's just getting the word out there. I think Coinbase does a good job at marketing too, but I think crypto.com does overall better job as far as marketing on all platforms. It's like social media. There's we got crypto.com ads that's on TV. We got arenas named after crypto.com. The Staples Arena is the crypto.com arena now. So those things that really made me go so much on crypto.com, and that's why I still make content on the platform. But now, man, I've been enjoying the interaction, communication. I really do appreciate what I'm saying, y'all really tuning into the kid, because like I said, this was random, but we got 17 people on here live on a random Tuesday, and I appreciate that. Skywalker recently came back from Bitcoin asking where they buy their, and majority buy from Kraken. It was followed with fees as a turnout. Do you think this will drive retail away? Bro, retail not buying enough crypto to even worry about fees. When I buy crypto, fees is different on millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? when I'm getting like Robinhood, for example, just because I'm on Robinhood, they charge you like less than 1% fee. I want to say, when you buy different cryptos, I think it's like 0.35 or 0.50 maybe. So fees on different amounts are, different. These big companies, of course, they're, buying big amounts, so the fees are going to be a turnoff. But we know a lot of people say crypto.com has some of the worst fees, but also crypto.com gives some of the best incentives. So I do think that makes up for the fees that they do. Because crypto.com, I want to say, gives more incentives than Kraken, but I can't say that because I haven't been on Kraken in a while. I haven't bought cryptos on Kraken in a minute. I really only been using Coinbase, crypto.com, and Robinhood to buy the cryptos. All right, man. Love, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in. Love on there for sure. But yeah, I really can't speak on as far as other fees go. That could be a turn off. The fees could be a turn off for sure. The fees could be a turn off for sure. But at the same time, that's a part of the crypto space. That's a part of buying cryptos. You do got to decide which platform you want to buy the cryptos on. But I do think at the end of the day, crypto.com does offer a lot of incentives directly within the app. Appreciate you for tuning in, bro. Appreciate it. Stay bullish for sure. The best players use Kraken for sure. It's one of the oldest exchanges still around. Yeah, I haven't like I said, I haven't used Kraken in a minute, because once I'm familiar with something, I really just stay with what I'm familiar with. And I know I could possibly be losing out on money, due to fees and things like that. But I think crypto.com incentivizes you so much to hold Crow that all the incentives that I'm getting will be beating, the incentives I would get through Kraken. I think that's the main thing. I think that's one of the main reasons why I say I'm on crypto.com more. You know what I'm saying? It's super fast. I think crypto is used by a lot. I think crypto.com is used a lot by retail, though. I love Kraken for cashing some out to pay bills here in Europe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think crypto.com is more so retail, but also now let's not forget about Trump Media. Let's not forget about Trump Media as well. That just use crypto.com as their ETF holder for Bitcoin, and they're going to be holding Crow just got an ETF as well. So it's bonuses. It's positives and negatives to both. I would say. It said Kraken give you free $50 on sign up. Crypto.com give you like $25, I think. But like I think I got the $50 on Kraken as well. Like I said, I used Kraken before. I just haven't used it in a minute. I gotta check Kraken out though for sure. I gotta re-download it because it's been a little minute. Also, Binance is for the biggest players, but banned so many places. I wish I could use Binance here, and that's a big thing. That's why I never used Binance when I first got into crypto. They wouldn't even let me download Binance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could download it, but they won't let me sign up with the KYC and everything because I was in the United States. I do think they raised the ban in the United States, but I mean, I'm on so many exchanges. I might make a Binance. But I'm really not trying to just find too many new projects. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm just dollar cost averaging into some of the projects that I already got. You know what I'm saying? I got so much liquidity in those projects that it wouldn't make sense to open a new position. The volume is insane. They're so liquid. Okay. Kraken is pretty good, but I also use XT a lot for DeFi. Okay, I never heard of XT though. Now I didn't heard the MEXC mix. I think I don't even know how I say it. But I didn't hear people use that. I haven't used that one yet either. I want to see if Binance might have one. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to sign up for Binance. So I might create a Binance account now. Like I said, I created one, but I couldn't KYC because that was in America. So they ain't let me do it. But y'all, I'm going to end the live, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We doing it just like that. Crypto Tro. I'm out of here.